Microdose, yeah. Microdose, 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 dose. Microdose, microdose, dose. Microdose, microdose, dose.
What's good, y'all? Kush Hayes here, coming to you yet another edition of the 2022 post NBA seasons, Microdose season. We just got my friend, my Hall of Famer, Jaimel Hemphill, guy from NPC Comics, Sweet Science Cinema. You know him from everything. My friend, how you doing? What's good?
I'm good, brother. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's nice to be working again. It's nice to be at another historic milestone in my career. This is my sixth time in the NBA Finals. I would like to have had a little more work, but again, I've gone into this just we're doing what we're doing. We're happy to be there. It's good to be there. And as this releases, there's definitely been a game 6. We don't know who's won anything yet. There may still be a game 7 this Sunday. Yeah. But have you been enjoying the season at all so far? Like it's 2-2.
Yeah, I mean it's a good series. The Warriors are definitely punching above their weight class, like flat out. As a true basketball fan who's loved the Warriors through thick and thin since I was a kid, I didn't just jump on the bandwagon when they started winning the championships or moved to San Francisco. Boston's the better team.
Okay,
like they flat out, Boston is a better team. But Steph is the best player. Mm-hmm. And as of right now, like I said, you mentioned we just got past game 4, but Steph put the entire team on his back and won game 4. He kept them in it for 3 quarters until everybody else woke up and kind of helped them win the game. But it's almost like a reverse. It's kind of funny. It's like they're like the Harvey Dent of teams. They didn't die heroes and now they live long enough to become the villain, because the Warriors are in the spot that the Cavs were when they were playing. It's not as bad. Like the Cavs were really a couple times they were LeBron James and a bunch of bums. Then they were LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and some middling dudes. Mm-hmm. And the way the Warriors are playing, it's like Steph and a bunch of middling dudes versus a really cohesive team. Mm-hmm. Like the Celtics are the worst possible team for them to catch in the finals. I would have much rather they get the Heat, because the series would probably be over right now.
Okay.
Like if they had got the Heat, they would have swept them. But the Celtics are good. So
I keep hearing people saying like, man, we should have been fighting the Heat or playing against the Heat. And then like, well, I mean, the better team in theory won. Then the next thing I'm hearing is like, I can't believe Boston is giving it to us this hard. And then I'm just like, well, I mean, it's the finals. This is the other best team in basketball right now. Yeah. Like it's
anyone who's saying that is like not like a fan, like anyone who likes basketball and has watched it. Mm-hmm. And you're honest, if you're not going to be a homer, you can't just be a fan and just say, no, my team's the best no matter what. But if you're objective, technically Boston is probably the better team. That doesn't mean I don't want the Warriors to win. That doesn't mean I think the Warriors can't win. I'm just saying that Boston's the better team. Hopefully the Warriors can close it out. As long as they have home field advantage, I think now they've got the home court advantage back by winning the 4th game. It's a 3-game series and 2 of them are in, the Bay Area. So hopefully the Warriors can pull it out. But I wouldn't be surprised if this goes 7. Boston has played all their series up to now have been 7-game series.
It really does feel like this is going to 7.
Yeah.
So we were talking about this a little bit off the clock, but one thing, this conversation has plagued everybody, I think, over the years. And the refs aren't giving it to your team correctly, and blah 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 blah. And like when I'm at the bar and I'm talking to a bunch of nobodies or just even friends that don't do what I do, like I kind of understand, or at least I'm a little more tolerant of it. But then when I'm literally around we're on set. The guys who do the halftime game, like they're within earshot of you right now, and one of their really pretty handlers is on the other side, and she can also hear this stupid conversation. But like, people are still insisting, like, yeah, the NBA is rigging this. But before we go deeper into that, like, I feel like when they say the NBA is rigging this. They think there's like a boardroom and a bunch of stuffy guys in suits, and they're all smoking cigars. And like, I think Golden State in 7, and everyone goes, they'll grunt and clap their hands. But like I'm totally not opposed to like one ref taking things into his own hands. Like there was a gambling controversy back in 2007. That happened.
There was a ref who did shave points.
Yeah,
that's what gives it credence. That's what gives it legs. What's his name? McDonough? Well, I can't remember his name, but
funny. His name is Tim Donaghy.
Donaghy, that's right. Like he did shave points. There was a cheating ref. So I mean, it's hard to say, well, that was bad, but it didn't happen anymore. But like we were talking offline, the 2002 Western Conference Finals. I mean, the Lakers, it was the Lakers versus the Kings. Mm-hmm. Tim Donaghy was one of the refs in that game.
Oh shit!
in Game 7, mm-hmm. The Eastern Conference Finals had already ended, and the New Jersey Nets were waiting for the winner in the finals. The Nets, not being one of the marquee teams in the league, they're just not. Like, mm-hmm. You got the Knicks. If you had to pick a team out of New York to be in the finals, you would do the Knicks over the Nets, especially pre-Jay-Z Barclays Center acquisition, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And so now you have the Lakers versus the Kings in the Western Conference Final, and the Lakers at this point, the NBA, as we always know, ever since Magic and Bird, has been a star-driven league, right? Like when we were kids in the 80s and 90s, it wasn't even the commercials were about whatever's team marquee superstar versus it was billed as Magic versus Charles Barkley. It wasn't billed as the 76ers versus the Lakers. It was Magic and the Lakers take on Charles Barkley and the 76ers, or Isaiah Thomas or Michael Jordan and right. It was player versus player. So at that point, the Nets, I don't believe, had anybody that anybody really wanted to see. And the Kings were led by Chris Webber, and Chris Webber's a good name, but he wasn't Shaq and Kobe, and Shaq and Kobe got eyeballs. Shaq and Kobe were primetime. So it is just really, really weird that Game 6, everything, just changed. Mm-hmm. I mean, the Kings weren't bad, but it was just in the fourth quarter. I'm trying to remember it. I'm looking it up right now. Yeah, the Lakers made 5 baskets in the fourth quarter. Only 5 baskets. That's 10 points. But they had 21 foul shots. They made 21. That means at the very least 11 fouls were called in the fourth quarter. At the least. That's 21 made. We don't know if that's at worst. That could have been, what if it's 1 for 1, right? Yeah. What if they only made 1 of 2 shots? That means that there were 42 total shots and there were 21 fouls called. Like, that's insane. Mm-hmm. Insane. Especially when you figure that six fouls get a person ousted out of the game. That means they could have ejected 3 players, just from fouls alone in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. That's a huge swing. It's a huge swing, Yeah.
I feel way more comfortable to talk about refs going into it for themselves, for shaving points, for some gambling debt, or for some heavy, roughing them up before and after the game. Like, he was going to do this and we was going to make this happen, but like the NBA as a whole, again, like there's so much money just in the TV time and the ads and this and that and the other. So like when we get to the 2018 finals where Golden State sweeps, like, again, this has to show like there was not much corruption that year. Like, again, like millions, tens of millions of dollars were lost on that.
I'm pulling the most egregious example that I can think of, in the 2002 Western Conference Finals. But, to a point, like if the NBA, all they cared about was rigging it to make money, then Michael Jordan would have won championships in Washington. Right? Then the most money making bankable player in the history of the league. He went to Washington, and if they really wanted to make money, Michael Jordan in the finals at age 43 is way bigger story than anything else, right? So they were going to rig it. That's how they would rig it. So do I think anything is rigged? No, but do I think that is it possible that the league could have had some instructions to the referees at that time, like, yo, we want this to go 7. I mean, I don't believe it, but if I found out it was true, I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, it's also not out of the question. It's not out of line. It's just maybe I'm just naive, and I like to think the best out of everybody, and special, like, games that decide things and all that. But then, like, I also take this from a pro wrestling mindset, and like, you only need 3 people in the conversation before that sucker gets out. Like, this is a really hard secret to keep locked down, and I refuse to believe that the entire organization is in on it.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't think it, don't believe it, but if it were true, wouldn't be surprised.
Mm-hmm. The first conspiracy was conceived the day God made the third man. Think about it. So I think that's man, that's all I really wanted to talk about. I refuse to believe that this whole thing is rigged on that level, but crazier shit has happened, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Yeah, this would be one of our shorter microdoses in some time. But that's not a bad thing either. These things were called microdoses for a reason. So, my friend, what do you want to plug?
Oh man, check me out on NPC Comics. And you know what? Next month, if you are in the Arlington, Texas area, meet me at DreamCon. Look it up at dreamcon.com.
And we're going to have extra information about that in the description, URLs and all that good stuff. Do you know what the ticket prices are offhand?
I think DreamCon is actually open to the public. Pretty sure.
Far out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you can find both me and Jaimel on Sweet Science Cinema, debuting second season July 5th. That is literally right around the corner. We're going to be talking about Creed 2. So you guys do not want to miss that. It's a fun conversation. It's leading up to a Creed 3 and many more great episodes of Sweet Science Cinema to follow that. Otherwise, check out the Waffle Box podcast. Me and friend of the family, Mike Fish. We talk about everything and nothing all at the same time. It is the best part of Wednesdays, and you'll want to check it out. waffleboxpod.com. It's on YouTube. You can also find it on the BosNet.family. So, yep. For Jaimel Hemphill, I've been Kush Hayes. You've been you.
Microdose, 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 yeah, microdose.
From the BosNet family.
The first conspiracy was conceived the day God made the third man. Think about it.